Yo, beautiful people, welcome back to Ask. And today we have a crazy guest, an influencer, crypto genius. You've seen him blowing up everywhere, and he has a lit Bugatti. Moon Carl, thank you for coming today.
Thank you so much, bro, for coming to my office, and I'm very happy to be on this very cool podcast.
Asah, we came today, yeah. But I mean, thank you for coming to the talk show. Yeah, we came to the lit office, honestly. And you know him, you love him. Ghazi.
What's up?
Kareem also. You know him, you love him. He does crypto, you know? They could vibe like we cannot vibe.
They can understand what Bitcoin is.
For the first question, I'm gonna go simple. So people, who is Carl?
That's a very simple question, but the answer could be very long or short, but very condensed if I were to explain. I started my crypto career, so to speak, like 4 years ago, but I was working in a grocery store actually in Sweden, just bagging bananas and groceries. And I found out about Bitcoin, and I immediately thought it was absolutely revolutionary and fascinating. So I devoted almost all my free time to learning more about crypto and Bitcoin. Started with trading, investing, and obviously I didn't have so much money back then, but I created also businesses. One of them is my YouTube channel, and with that came a capital that I used to then invest. And now I'm one of the bigger angel investors in the whole crypto space. I invested in 400 crypto startups, and I'm the co-founder of multiple crypto companies and hustling hard to bring crypto mass adoption.
That's really nice. I know when people think of crypto, they think of you. You, like crypto, you. So other than crypto, what do you do?
What I do, I love racing. I'm the main sponsor of a Formula 2 team. So I'm sponsoring basically, Formula 2, and I have my logos on the car, and I also put my face on the car, like this.
Yeah, we saw that. That was cool. That was really
So
cool.
no one ever did that in the history of humans because it looks like a stupid idea, but actually it turned out to be a great idea because people are really talking about it, and if there's anything you want with a sponsorship, it's you want people to talk about it. Attention is everything, right? So putting my face on the car resulted in a lot of attention and people talking. Even in Formula 1, people know about me and my face, and even the Formula 1 drivers are talking about it, like in the paddock, and so my name is circulating a lot there, and it's very positive feedback. It's like everyone's like, "Oh, why are you so crazy?"
Also
like,
on TV, we saw it. We were like, oh, no way.
yeah, because you can literally see my face, driving around the circuits of Monaco and Italy and wherever else, Singapore. So that's really cool. And I also put a QR code on the front for charity. So I'm collecting donations in Bitcoin for charity for children with disabilities. So part of the sponsorship is actually collecting money to children. Because to be honest, I don't make so much money on I don't make any money on this sponsorship because I just put my face on the car and I spend money. It's more like a PR thing. I want people to know who I am. I'm out there. I'm a sponsor of this Formula 2 team, and that's working very well. But of course, it was very expensive, like multiple millions paid in crypto, by the way. But the main idea is to raise money for charity.
I have an interesting question. Other than the crypto, other than everything, you as Carl, how would you identify as yourself? Like, what would you say about yourself?
I would say I'm an entrepreneur. I feel like I am, I'm very proud of myself. I feel very confident, and I live my dream life. And these things are things I attracted because a few years ago, none of that was true. I actually almost hated myself and I hated my life, and I thought everything was pretty shit because it kind of was. I had nothing to do. Even before the grocery store, it was actually even worse because I had no job and I had no education. I dropped out of school, and my parents were just like always so worried and were like, screaming at me, telling me to like go do something useful, go to school, go to work, and I just felt like I didn't want to do anything. Depression and bad vibes. So I learned about the law of attraction, and that's how I changed my life. I was basically visualizing my dream life even though I didn't have anything back then. I only had my grocery store job and I had my family, you know, but I didn't have anything extraordinary. But I visualized myself sitting on yachts and private jets and driving Bugatti and meeting cool people. And actually, most of all, I visualized freedom and abundance, wealth, just like money flowing in left and right without knowing what to do with it. Even though I only had my like $1,000 a month grocery store monies, but I was imagining that I already had all this abundance of freedom and money. And I think that's the key to attracting anything in life. You have to put the energy inside of you, and then if you change your inside energy, then the outside world, which is also just energy, will match. So
Will match what you're thinking about.
Well, listening to it, I agree. I did the same thing. I convinced myself, you know, I'm on social media, like, you know, I go out, I do TikToks and all, until it just happened from a young age. I used to tell myself same thing. I'm already this, like you just finesse it. It just happens. Manifest it.
it's very powerful. So what people need to understand is that everything is energy. In the quantum world, if you read quantum physics, you will know that everything is energy, which includes us, includes this Red Bull can, our phones, everything is just energy, and there's no solidity as we perceive it. Like the chair, it doesn't really exist. It only exists as information or vibrations, and it only has a solid form in our mind. It only exists in our mind. And then if you understand that, then you will also understand that the energy that we hold inside of us is very, very powerful. And also words and thoughts, because thoughts are energy, words are energy. So when you say, for example, I have, I am, then whatever follows those two words is very, very important.
But I have a follow-up question on that. So after you've learned the law of attraction, what were the steps that you took? I'm sure there were steps, right? It didn't just happen.
Exactly. So step number one is mindset and the law of attraction. And some people, they do it correctly, but most people, they fail already there because they try 1 week and then they think, oh, I didn't make a million yet, so they give up. So that's wrong. You need to keep the mindset steady no matter what, even if you feel like nothing is happening and you feel like, you know. So what I did was for many, many months, even like, you know, for the first year, even though I didn't see big changes in the beginning, I kept imagining myself being in this perfect world, in this dream life, just believing it's going to happen, trusting that the universe will...
Eventually.
Yeah. Like, I just thought the steps are there somewhere. I just don't see them yet, but they're there.
You trusted the process.
Yeah, trust the process, had faith, faith that it's going to happen. Which is not so easy in the beginning. My faith became way stronger after I reached the first few milestones. But the first few steps were basically... actually, if you want to really know, like, I actually failed a couple of businesses before I went into crypto. I tried drop shipping, and I tried like Amazon FBA, because I thought maybe that's how I will make my money.
Trend back then as
Yeah,
well.
that was me trying to think what would be the step. But I think it's a little bit wrong to do it like that. I think it will happen eventually, but I think it's never, well, I wouldn't say it's wrong. It's always good to try things. But don't get married to one idea. For example, like, I realized quite quickly that I don't like dropshipping. It's not for me. First of all, it's not so profitable for me because it seems like I just don't know exactly how to do it, and I didn't feel passion for it. For me, it was only about the money. And if you're doing something only for the money, then the motivation will just run out after a while. So for a few weeks, I was motivated, but when I realized that I was only in it for the money, I just kind of felt like, you know what, let's just stop this. Yeah, it was not interesting anymore. And then that's approximately somewhere there. That's when I learned about Bitcoin, about crypto, about trading, investing, and I quickly started a YouTube channel about it. Started to talk about crypto, and people just really enjoyed listening to me talk about crypto, and I built a big following, and that's like the first few steps I took basically, and then everything took off from there because my YouTube channel was like the first, the first breakthrough, my first success, because having tens of thousands of people just starting to subscribe and, That was crazy.
So, when you discovered Bitcoin, what made you so bullish on it? Why did you believe in it back then when no one believed in it?
Okay, so that's a great question. And before Bitcoin, I was actually a little bit nerdy about monetary policy and like the US dollar, the Federal Reserve System, and the banking system. So for many years prior, I had been looking at YouTube videos and reading some books and audiobooks about monetary policies and banking in general. And
You saw all the flaws.
yeah, that's the thing. Like I knew it's a very broken system, it's a very corrupt system, it's a bad system, and I thought gold was the answer. So actually, when I was working in a grocery store, all of my money went into gold and silver, physical, like actual like bars and coins. Not much, but like
Do you walk around with like bars?
No, I kept it in a safe. It was like not much, like I don't know, $5,000 worth, 6,000, like something small, But for me, that was very important because I thought I was like, I was escaping the system. But ever since the day I learned about Bitcoin, I never again bought gold and silver, and I only bought Bitcoin because I immediately thought this changes everything. Bitcoin is the answer. Bitcoin can do the things that gold can't, and Bitcoin is the solution to the corruption and the broken system that we have in the monetary system.
So in the early days, while you were buying Bitcoin, everyone around you were like, what are you doing? What did everyone think about it? What did your family think about it?
My friends thought it was something stupid. My parents were very worried. They thought it was something strange, something a little bit weird, and like, almost a little bit shady or something. Like they thought it was like maybe some kind of scam. They thought Bitcoin is
Wasting your money.
yeah. I'm sitting on my computer, they're wasting time and money. Yeah. So they were actually worried. They thought that Bitcoin is probably some kind of like a Ponzi scheme maybe.
So, was it easy to buy Bitcoin as easy as you can buy it like today when you have all these exchanges available?
I think it's probably easier today, but it's still not very easy to be honest. Actually, I don't even buy Bitcoin anymore. I make Bitcoin.
You have your money.
Mine. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all of my income and almost everything is in crypto. So, if someone asks me where to buy Bitcoin, honestly, I don't know what the best place is to buy Bitcoin. First of all, it depends on which country you're in, and also depends on like other things.
What about Casta?
Casta is, of course, a great place. Of course. Yeah, app is rolling out right now, so app is gonna be live.
So you're in the soft launch phase.
We call it rollout because
Okay.
we're giving invites, just like Spotify. Remember, in the very early days of
Right.
Spotify,
Yes.
you could only sign up if you got an invite from someone. That's how we're doing it because we have hundreds of thousands of people who are waiting to get in on the app. We have like 300,000 people in the wait list, 200,000 people on Twitter, all of my audience, our influencer audience. So we can't just release the app and let everyone in because then it will just be a mess. So we're rolling out slowly. So now I think like 400 or 500 people have already signed up and done the
Nice.
KYC and everything.
Throughout your journey, who was because like all of us, it's hard to always be alone. Who was like your mentor? Who was someone you looked up to? Maybe you didn't know, but you were like following and stuff. Was there someone in specific?
Actually, no, I wouldn't say that I had, no one in my life, no. But online, on YouTube, I was looking at a lot of different YouTube videos and I read books about successful people, Think and Grow Rich is one of the examples,
Okay.
like a good book that I think people should read. Yeah, it's very, very powerful. But I read many books about those kind of things, mindset and
You're involved in philanthropy,
yes.
and recently you went to Nigeria. What made you want to go there?
Well, actually, I went to Nigeria for a crypto conference, but when I was there, I thought, you know what, I wanna really, see the other side of the world, or so to speak, because I live in a bubble. I live in Dubai. I grew up in Sweden. Even though I was working in a grocery store, let's be honest, I was completely rich compared to the people of like the trenches of Nigeria. Even making like $1,500 a month, that's like mind-blowing to them, and having the quality of life that they have in Sweden. So I wanted to see how the poorest people of the world live. So what I've heard was that in Nigeria, there are these trenches, that they call them, and there you have the poorest people basically of the world. Like they don't use money at all. It's like they barter with each other, and they have like chickens running around, and like, you know, the food they grow themselves. It's like it's really the lowest level. So I wanted to go there, and I wanted to talk to them and like, you know, experience how they live, and also give them some gifts, and give them, you know, show them that I'm there to also to help out. So I gave them some clothes, some shoes, and some Nutella.
What did you learn when you visited these trenches in Nigeria? Like, how did you feel, you know?
First of all, I was shocked because it was way worse than I thought. So we went to the literally like the very deepest place of the trenches, and people told me, first of all, don't go there because it's very dangerous, and like they told me, yeah, you can go to a poor neighborhood, but just don't go to the trenches. It's like the literal favelas.
Were you scared?
When they said this, I was like, you know.
He got scared listening to you.
Hold up, wait a second.
So, I mean, of course, I had the second thought, but I thought, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And of course, we also had 2 Nigerian police officers who joined us with machine guns, because they also said, you know, you need protection, but with us, you should be safe. So I said, okay. And then we just drove straight out to the trenches, and we stopped the car, and maybe we can put some videos on the screen. So we stopped the car there, and I immediately put down the window, and I just tried to like make friends with those 5 guys that I saw sitting there. They were sitting and like, I don't know, talking and chilling, and I was just, you know, talking to them and asking them like, hey, how, like, can you show me around? I would love to see your neighborhood and stuff. And I also told them like, I have some gifts if you want, like some footballs and stuff. And they were happy, and it seemed like they, you know, were quite welcoming. So I felt quite safe. So that's when I decided to just go out of the car and like talk to them, and yeah, they were friendly, and they took me over to the palace, as they call it. But the palace where the chief lives, it's just like a house. I mean, it's a house made by wood and like garbage, basically.
It's a humble house.
It's a very humble house. So it was like, but they call it the palace. That's where the chief lives. And the chief was amazing. He was really welcoming, and they brought all the children there because I told them I have some gifts for the children. I have footballs and backpacks and Nutella and even some Snickers and also some other food. You know, a bunch of stuff.
How did you feel seeing the children just light up when you give them these stuff?
Yeah, it was very cute. It was so cute, and especially seeing them actually wear the shirts I gave them, and there were also like a couple of like newborns that got small shoes. That was cute as well, and they enjoyed the footballs and everything. So that was very cool. Very cool.
What will you tell yourself, your younger self? Like if you could go back and talk to your younger self, what will you tell him?
If it's like back 10, 15 years, I would just tell myself to change my mindset and use the law of attraction, and I would become wealthy way before I became now. Like I discovered the secrets to the universe. That's how I view it. And with these keys, these secrets, you can become anything you want in a very short period of time. So the sooner you know about it, the sooner you can go out there and achieve your dream. So if I knew about this when I was, I don't know, 10 years old, I could have been balling at 15 maybe.
How do you filter out negativity?
It's impossible to completely filter everything out, but you just have to kind of learn to control your mind and control your thoughts, which is not easy, but it can be done.
What is something you regret?
I don't have any big regrets. I feel like all the mistakes I've made, especially in business, are just lessons. I've lost money to scams. I've lost money to people fooling me and you know, taking advantage of me. That happened multiple times already. But at least every single mistake, I don't replicate it again. As long as you don't repeat mistakes, you can take them as lessons. They may be expensive, but lessons, and then you learn from it. And I see it as the cost of my education. Some people, they would go to Harvard, they pay maybe a couple $100,000 for that. Well, that's expensive, yes, and I'm paying for my education. It's the education of life. you will lose money to things, but it's part of the learning curve, and you learn from it. So
What do you aspire to be? We all have these big aspirations. What's your end goal, you know?
I wouldn't say that I have this end goal that I'm like sharing with people like that, but I really enjoyed the process of developing myself, becoming always more like smarter and more informed, and getting more experience, and hiring more people. I have like 150 employees already, and I'm very proud of every time I'm sitting in a meeting with my employees, I feel very proud of myself and them, and how far we've come, and just developing on that is just something that I really love doing.
So as someone who has his own business, who does crypto, influencer stuff, on social media, how do you manage your time? Like Superman? All of that. You have 150 people working for you. How do you like manage your time?
So I have a very good management structure. So basically, I have 150 employees, let's say 140 maybe, and that doesn't mean that I'm talking to every single one of them on a one-to-one basis. I have managers who manage teams. So I have a couple of companies in place where there is a CEO in every single company. And that CEO takes care of the operations on that company. And then on a bigger structure in the group, so there's a group of companies that I'm an owner, and then I have a manager who is managing the CEOs. And then I am above the manager as the owner and the CEO of the group. So ultimately, I don't do operations. I don't answer the emails, or I don't know, stamping papers. Like, I don't do that. I have people in place to do those things, and I am the creative strategy, marketing, and vision. Yeah, like the visionary, that kind of stuff. And then the operations are taken care of by managers, and it's working very well.
What do you look for when hiring someone?
Let's just say this: we don't look for education. Many people that are hired have no education, or no degrees. We look at experience.
They're street smart.
Yeah, they should have some kind of experience from comparable businesses. That's way more attractive than any kind of degree, Because I know for myself, I dropped out of school. I have no degree. I look like a loser on paper, but I was able to build this. So I know
100%.
that it's not about your grades on a piece of paper. It means literally nothing to me. Yeah.
I see you on magazines everywhere, right? What would be the title of your own book?
That's a good question. I want to create my own book, actually. I already thought about a few ideas of... I have multiple book ideas, actually. One about my biography, about me, how my life. But I also want to write a book about monetary policy and Bitcoin, and making people understand what I feel like I understand, why I bet everything on Bitcoin, So those are two book ideas that I want to write.
What would be the title?
The title would have to be very well thought out, so I will have to come back to you on that point.
So what's your advice to the upcoming generation of entrepreneurs and investors?
For entrepreneurs and investors, I think the most important advice is the mindset and the longer term vision. Never chasing quick gains and fast money, but focusing more on the long-term goal, the end goal. So instead of thinking, how can I make $1 million now? You should think about first of all, from law of attraction point of view, you should think you already have the $1 million, and imagine yourself in the future with those $1 million already in your hand, and keeping that vision in your mind. And when you have that energy inside of you, then you can start trying things and start taking opportunities, because I believe very, very firmly that the universe is there to help us. The universe, or God, or whatever you want to call it, there's this positive force who always is there ready to help us. We just have to allow this force to do so by using, I would say, the law of attraction and your mindset, and inviting that positive energy to you.
Thank you so much, Mooncard, for coming today. I really enjoyed it, and for hosting us. And for everyone watching right now, thank you for watching till the end. If you enjoyed the episode, comment, like, subscribe, so I could ask them what do they really do for a living.